Hello, everyone. Thank you for connecting to this class. Today, we are going to be filling out an exclusive buyer engagement agreement. And I'm about to share my screen here so you can see. So we're going to review the steps to filling out an exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. This is one of the first documents, well, actually, the first document that needs to be filled out before working with a client, before writing any offer. This has to be signed. If you start an offer without this document, it's pretty much voided. You do have to talk to your coach to help you with that, but let's avoid that situation and always have this document be your first document you send over to your clients to sign. So we're going to fill this out from start to end. It's always important to review this document with your client if you are working with somebody that likes to know everything that they're going to sign. Explain to them that this is the agreement that allows you to make offers for them, and it's the agreement of your duties and to the client and their duties to you also. As you can see, the first page is number 1 to I believe it's 11 to 10. And then the last page being the information and the signatures. Always refer to, whenever you have a question regarding a section, always refer to, box 1 or box 3, letter B or letter A, and such, like, like that. So let's get started. The box number 1 is just the exclusive buyer brokerage engagement agreement, is just explaining what it is. Box number 2 is the term or the time that you're going to be working with the client, and it'll be the starting date of, let's say you're going to start working with your client today and showing houses. We'll put the date to now. And the amount of time that you work with the client is, the standard time is usually 6 months. So you can put it far up to 6 months. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can put it till the end of the month. Or if you're working with somebody who's maybe searching for commercial or land, that it might take a little bit longer, you can always put it all the way up to a year. So today we're choosing 6 months to look for a property. Box number 3 is the agency and brokerage. This is just going to be the section where you're going to select what we do not offer by our broker here at La Rosa, and usually here in the state of Georgia. We do not offer a sub-agency. So all of the other brokerage relationships, this is what we work with. So the only one that we do not practice here in Georgia is sub-agency. Letter B, this is if the buyer accepts or consents to the broker act to be working a dual agency, which is you representing the buyer but also representing the seller. And this allows for any transaction that involves you working with the client, but also finding the, maybe the listing or maybe the buyer. If you're working with the listing side, you might find the buyer. So the client does consent for you to work a dual agency in the case that you might need to. So we're going to select does. If the client does not consent, then you click does not. So usually you hope to click on buyer does consent. And we move over to box number 4, which is commission. Buyer's commission obligation in purchasing the real property. So in this one, we are going to go over to letter B, the commission being 3%. This is up to how much you are going to be paid. In the case of you working in a property that offers only 2.5%, this also obligates the buyer to pay the rest if that is the agreement, or this is gonna have to be modified to 2.5. So if this is, a flat fee, then you put it here, or any other type of commission type, but normally we work with 3% commission for all agents. Separate commission on lease, this is if you're gonna be entering into a lease agreement with your client. If this is not the case, then we're just gonna put 0. We do not wanna leave it blank, we just wanna put 0 if you're not gonna be getting a separate commission on a lease. Letter D, protected period. This is a number of days that is placed here for you to cover in the case this document expires. You can add maybe 10, 15, 20 days of a protection period, which protects this and makes the contract still in full effective, or it makes it valid. So this is just a protection period in case you were to close after the expiration date, and that way you don't have to extend it or do anything else. You'll have this protection period to protect the contract for everything to be still in full effect. Next, we move on to a lot of the explanations. Number 1 being exclusive buyer brokerage engagement agreement, explains a little bit about it. Number 2 explains this box right here. Number 2, which is the term, and explains it and such things like that. If the client has a question, you can go back to the contract and read the section that they are signing. So these are just explaining the first page, and then we're gonna move over to the next part you have to fill out, which is the brochures. I'm not sure why it looks like this, but you will select the brochures or the pamphlets or disclosures that you're going to be using in this transaction. The one that is always used is protect yourself when buying a real property. What to consider when buying a home in a community association. This is if the property is going to be in a HOA community, a condominium, or if it's going to be a new construction, you can add here. You usually also need the ABCs of agency. If the property is older than 1978, then you use a lead-based paint pamphlet, and you just simply select the ones that you're going to be using. So I'm not sure why these are a little bit up here, but I think these are supposed to be down here for you to select these options also. Special stipulations is just in case there's a stipulation to the contract or to going in under contract. This is the section where you would write it down. The last page is just simply your signatures and your information. Remember, if you have one buyer, you have two sections here for 2 buyers. If there's only one, just select one of these by simply clicking. You go to the assign menu and you're gonna assign it to no one. That way, whenever you send over for signatures, your client only signs this section right here. If it says buyer here and buyer here, your client is gonna have the option to sign both, but you don't want that. So if it's 2 people, then you assign to 2 people. So you would have your client's names here. You would select one, and then the other one, you would select the other one here. This is myself now. Always write down the name, the full name. You don't have to write the address, but always write the email address. So always have that here in case somebody needs to go back to it. You can write down their phone number, just as much information as a client wants to provide. This section right here is your information. This is just your signature, nobody else's. This is where you would sign, and this is where you would write down La Rosa Realty, Georgia. LLC. Remember to fill out everything without missing a single thing. You right here, you would print your name, and you can date it, and then you can write down here your license. 8179. We don't have a fax number, so we don't use a fax number. This is where your email address is gonna go. So I'm gonna write down my email address here. And you're gonna write down, I'm sorry, I messed up. This is the phone number, and this is where you would write down your license. So this is where your license number goes, and this is your membership, your realtor membership. If you're part of NAMR, you put NAMR here. If you're part of Hall County, like myself, Hall Board, Hall County Board, and this is where your phone number will be, 678. Okay. Up here, it's very important to fill out this information too. So the MLS office code is H. It's always important to remember this. And then the license, which is La Row 01. The broker number, I don't have it here, but this is where it goes, and you have to put it, and then you put your office address, John Morrow Parkway. One. Okay. Once you have it all sent, all filled out, you're gonna send it over to your clients for signatures. Once they're, you have placed their name and assigned their signature year, you're gonna sign it yourself. And once you have all signatures, it is very important to write down the time and date that you received it. So we're gonna put 10 a.m. and we're gonna choose the date of today because today it was signed. Once you submit this, if this section is not filled out after all signatures, it will not be approved. So you want to save, and then you're gonna have everything filled out. So this is it. It is very simple, but it is important to know each step. That way you don't make any mistakes or any misunderstandings between you and your clients. So if you have any questions, please refer to your coach or myself, or write down any comments below this video. Thank you for joining, and have a great day.